What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out a brand new e-bike. The one that we have here today has a bit of a funny name. This is called the GoGoBest GF600, so definitely not your typical e-bike name. So this is powered by a 1000 watt motor that's located in the rear wheel here, and we also have the massive fat tires on this bike. So these are 26-inch wheels with 4-inch wide tires, so going over bumps, going over uneven terrain, it's very easy with the bike like this. This also has mechanical disc brakes on the front and on the back, and we also get a front suspension. With that being said, let's do a bit of an unboxing just so I can show you how the bike comes packed in the box and what you have to do to get this ready and on the road. Okay, so as you'd expect, the bike comes in a fairly big box because obviously we have a pretty big bike here. The box is also quite heavy, mostly because the bike itself is heavy. So the weight of this is just under 30 kilos. So definitely not easy to carry this around, not to mention that it is pretty big, so hard to carry this around. Out of the box, you do have to put the front wheel together, you have to put the handlebar together, the mud guard here on the front, and the light, and of course the pedals. All in, it's gonna take you about half an hour to get this ready and on the road. So overall, an easy process to get this ready. Taking a quick look at the bike wall, we have a pretty straightforward design. This looks a lot like a regular bike, but then we have a few extra bits and pieces here and there. So first of all, of course, we have the massive tires on the front and on the back, and you've probably noticed that in the center here we have the battery pack. Now, this is not the largest battery pack that I've seen in an e-bike. The manufacturer says that you can get up to 100 kilometers on one charge. But I guess that would be only if you're riding on a flat surface, you're using assistance level 1 and stuff like that. If you do use the throttle, you go up a lot of hills, you're probably going to get somewhere around 30 to 45 kilometers. So all that really depends on how heavy you are, where you're riding, how you're riding, and so on. We also have a 7-gear Shimano shifter, and of course when you combine that with the 1000 watts of power that we have from that rear motor, you can basically ride this bike anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're riding on a flat surface, it doesn't matter if you're riding on a super steep hill, you can definitely make it up any hill. So very easy to ride on pretty much any surface. This is limited to 25 kilometers out of the box, so that's the top speed for it, but you can easily change that speed and make it higher if you wanna ride a bit faster. And you can also enable the throttle here. Now, out of the box, it does come without the throttle enabled, but you can easily do that as well. So you can basically just accelerate with the throttle if you don't want to pedal at all. Alright, so next I have a super quick hill climbing test. I'm basically in the first gear and assistance level 5. This bike is using a speed sensor. So you basically have to start moving and the bike will start assisting you as soon as you start moving. On a hill like this, of course, it may be a bit more difficult to start moving, but if you have the throttle enabled, you can basically accelerate with the throttle. So I'm not gonna do that, I'm just gonna start pedaling so you can see how the bike does. So as soon as we start moving, the bike starts assisting me. So now it's super easy to go up any hill because we do have a lot of power. On the front and on the back, we have plastic mud guards. Now, I'm not a big fan that they move a lot. I didn't ride the bike in the rain, so I can't really tell you if it protects you from all that splashing, but I'm definitely not a big fan of all that movement. But I guess it makes the bike look cool with those kind of mud guards. There is also a front suspension. This gets about 2 inches of travel, so about the same as we've seen with a lot of e-bikes lately. And when you combine that to the fat tires and the seat that's fairly comfortable, it is a wider than normal seat, I'm gonna say, so you can ride comfortably for a couple of hours before you get tired. So because of those tires, because of the front suspension and the seat, you do get quite a comfortable ride. On the front here, we also have a headlight. This is bright enough to be seen during the day, and at night it will light the path ahead of you really well. So no complaints about that front light, but unfortunately we do not get a rear light. It would have been nice to see a rear light, but I guess you're gonna have to buy your own. The bike is also equipped with mechanical disc brakes on the back and of course on the front. Those are 160mm discs, but like most of these e-bikes that I've tried in the past that have mechanical disc brakes, the brakes do squeak quite a bit whenever you use them. So whenever you're braking, the bike is gonna be like, "Arr!" So I guess you get used to that. That doesn't typically happen if you have hydraulic disc brakes, but with this bike, that's the case. The braking power is okay, but definitely not as good as a bike that would have hydraulic disc brakes. But again, those bikes are also much more expensive than this one. So I guess they had to give you the components that make sense so they can keep the price down. Moving on to the handlebar is nice and wide. Whenever you're riding, you don't feel cramped at all. And I've also noticed that the handlebar is somewhat higher than most bikes that look like this. So with this one, I don't feel that pressure on my wrists whenever I ride. So the riding position is a bit more upright, I'm gonna say, so more comfortable for longer periods of time. So I'm definitely a fan of this kind of design over the ones where you kind of have to like lean down and hold that handlebar. So better than other similar looking bikes, I'm gonna say. The brake levers are made out of plastic, really nothing that exciting about them. The grips here don't seem to move at all. On the left hand side here we have the buttons, you can basically power on the bike and change assistance levels. On the right hand side we have the throttle that, as I said, you can enable or not enable depending on your needs. And then we have the shifter right here, and in the center we have the screen. Now this is not the largest screen out there, but you can still see this screen even in direct sunlight. So bright day like today, you can still see that screen. So the screen will show you the speed, will show you how much battery you have, the assistance level, your odometer, and so on. All right, so let me quickly show you how you'd use this bike. It is super simple to use. So the M here is basically the power button. You hold that pressed for about 3 seconds or so, and then you can change assistance levels from here. So for this little ride, we'll go in assistance level 2, let's say. So that doesn't change the power, it just changes the top speed of the bike. I'm not sure if you can actually see the screen. All right, so as soon as you start pedaling, the bike will start assisting you. So I'll show you that again. So I'll start pedaling, and then the motor starts assisting you. So you don't actually have to put that much effort into riding. It is fairly easy. So this bike is using a speed sensor. In a way, I kind of like a bike like this with a speed sensor compared to a torque sensor, because I have to do way less work with a bike like this that has a speed sensor. But depending who you ask, some may prefer a torque sensor over a speed sensor because it makes the bike feel a bit more like a regular bike in a way. So because we have these massive wheels, of course you can easily do a bit of off-roading. Not crazy off-roading, but you can definitely go over some bumps and stuff like that. So that's simple. From here we shift gears. The shifter does seem to work good. And of course, the faster you go, the faster the bike will get. So that's simple using this bike. We'll do a quick brake test here, so from about 25 kilometers an hour. So mechanical disc brakes, that's what you can expect from these kind of brakes. I would have preferred to see some hydraulic disc brakes, but for the price, hard to complain, I guess. Even over bumps like that, since we have that front suspension and a fairly comfortable seat, and again, those massive wheels, the bike is also pretty comfortable. So overall, a pretty comfortable and pretty quiet bike to ride. Alright, so to quickly conclude this video, for its price, because this is a fairly inexpensive bike, you do get quite a bit of value. You do get a very powerful motor, the shifter works good, I haven't had any issues with it shifting gears up and down. The massive tires that we get on the front and on the back, of course, will help whenever you go over uneven terrain, over rocks, in mud, and so on. So the ride is also comfortable. The only thing I wasn't a fan of are the brakes. The brakes just squeak a bit too much for my taste. Maybe there is a way to adjust them, but personally I just left them as they were from the box. But overall you do get pretty good value from this bike, taking in consideration the price and everything it has to offer. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.